Previously, we delved into the infernal ingenuity of Ork firepower, from the warp-rending Shokk Attack Gun to the thunderous cannons of their Gargants. But that was only the beginning. The Greenskin arsenal stretches far beyond mere ballistics. Where the first chronicle recounted their guns and engines of war, this second revelation descends deeper, into the realm of claws, crushes, and weapons that defy logic itself. Here, on the front lines of madness, the Orks show the galaxy that their violence knows no limit, that ingenuity and insanity are one and the same when guided by the Wa. Every weapon, every shrieking shell, every crunch of metal on bone is a hymn to the green gods. And in this volume, we witness the instruments of that faith. The Mega Claw and Gargant Choppa. Among the endless roar of Ork war machines, there are moments when even the guns fall silent, moments when something larger strides into view. The Stompas and Gargants are not content to merely shoot. They crush, they tear, they smash. And for this sacred work, they bear colossal melee weapons, the Mega Claw and the Gargant Choppa. The Mega Claw is an iron monstrosity, a giant pincer of serrated teeth powered by grinding pistons and girdled in crackling power fields. When it closes around a target, even a titan's defenses can buckle, void shields flare, then fail, and adamantium hulls shriek as the claw bites down and twists. Ork Stompas are routinely depicted with such reaper limbs paired to their gun arms, a union of relentless dakka and ruinous crush. The Gargant Choppa, by contrast, is the Ork attempt at elegance, if such a word can apply to a weapon the size of a cathedral gate. This massive cleaver hums with pent-up energy as it swings, its edge chewing through ferrocrete, armor, and anything foolish enough to stand before it. One blow can bisect a fortress wall or swat a battle tank into the mud. When these engines of war advance, the ground quakes and the air splits with thunder. Imperial guardsmen often break at the sight of them, convinced they are watching gods descend from the smoke. And behind that thunder comes laughter, because the Orks know that sometimes the most satisfying weapon isn't the loudest gun, but the biggest hit. The Warp Shock variants. The Orks' obsession with the Shokk Attack Gun did not end with its invention. Mech boys, eternal tinkerers and lunatics, have long sought to make the weapon more exciting. Their experiments gave birth to what Imperial observers call Warp Shock variants, volatile rigs that twist reality itself. These contraptions push the core principle further, creating unstable breaches through the warp that swallow trenches, spit vehicles inside out, or hurl matter across the field with contempt for physics and pity alike. Entire platoons have vanished in an instant, their screams echoing faintly from nowhere. Sometimes the weapon obliterates its target. Sometimes it implodes its operator. And on occasion, it simply irises open on a vision of something vast and screaming before the portal snaps shut and everything nearby liquefies. It is not a formal entry in any mech catalog, merely a pattern of catastrophe extrapolated from the Shokk Attack Gun's notorious unpredictability, and the mech's refusal to stop improving it. Reports differ wildly. Some battlefields are scoured from the map, others left cratered and warped beyond recognition. The mechs call it progress. The Imperium calls it sacrilege. Both are correct. The Zap Gun. Among all Ork weaponry, few are as capricious or as dangerous as the Zap Gun. A cannon of crackling energy, it channels barely contained lightning through coils of scavenged copper and rattling generators. When fired, it unleashes an unpredictable bolt that leaps toward the richest, toughest targets, as if mocking the very idea of armor. Tanks stutter and die as circuitry fries. Plating warps. Sometimes a victim simply vanishes in a flash. The weapon's fickleness is part of its legend. Misfires, back arcs, and spectacular detonations are all in a day's work for a grot crew bold, or unlucky, enough to pull the lever. The stronger the target's armor, the more the weapon strains to punch through, a cruel irony the Orks find endlessly amusing. Battlefield reports tell of Ork batteries lighting up the night with branching webs of electric fire, vaporizing a baneblade one moment and themselves the next. Yet, when it fires true, even a tech priest must concede. It's monstrous, and it works. The bomb squigs. Among the Orks' most beloved creations are the bomb squigs, living weapons that embody greenskin ingenuity at its most honest. Squigs bred for aggression are fitted with crude explosive harnesses and unleashed toward the enemy with enthusiastic encouragement. Once released, a bomb squig scuttles forward at frightening speed, drawn by noise, heat, and anything armored or important. It needs no guidance and no fear. When it reaches its target, it bites, triggering the charge, and vanishes in a burst of fire and shrapnel. Tanks are gutted from below. Infantry are scattered in screaming panic. And even war engines have been crippled by swarms of these chittering missiles. Imperial tacticians despise them for their unpredictability. Orks adore them for the same reason. Each squealing launch is met with cheers because a bomb squig's purpose is simple and glorious: run fast, bite hard, and explode loudly. The Lifta-Droppa. And finally, one of the most infamous Ork weapons ever conceived, the Lifta-Droppa. An idea so gleefully destructive it could only have sprung from a mech. Don't shoot the tank, throw it. The Lifta-Droppa projects a gravitic field that seizes hold of anything within its arc: a tank, a Titan carapace plate, even an ill-placed hab block, and hoists it aloft. Then the field winks out. Armor and masonry plummet. Sometimes onto the original target, sometimes onto the nearest enemy squad, sometimes onto the Orks themselves, which only improves the laughter as long as it's loud. Variants scale up to Supa Lifta-Droppas on mega gargants, because of course they do. Witnesses describe battlefields turned into chaotic juggling acts, with enemy armor rising and falling like toys in a child's tantrum. The gravity distortion can even crush the ground beneath, creating vast sinkholes filled with wreckage. Equal parts horrifying and hilarious, the Lifta-Droppa is the purest distillation of Ork logic. Why shoot something when you can throw it? To the Orks, the noise of impact is worth more than the kill. And so, our chronicle concludes. From the snotling-filled madness of the Shokk Attack Gun to the sky-rending power of the Lifta-Droppa, the Ork arsenal spans every imaginable form of violence. Each weapon, no matter how crude, embodies the same philosophy: that war is not just a necessity, but a celebration. The Imperium may call them beasts, the Eldari may call them fools, but the truth is far simpler. The Orks are free from restraint, from fear, from hesitation. Where others wage war to survive, the Orks live for the war itself. They build not to conquer but to fight, not to rule but to revel. So, if you've survived this broadcast, remember, what you've heard is but one half of the story. To witness how it began with the Shokk Attack Gun, the Mega Blastas, and the Def Guns of legend, look to Part 1, the deadliest Ork weapons. And pray you never see them both in action. For as long as the stars burn and the guns roar, the Orks will be there, laughing, building, and firing until the universe itself runs out of targets. Because in the grim darkness of the far future, there's always room for more dakka.